Hello, everyone. How are you doing? We are going to take a look at educational options and where you're going for your educational future and what you plan on doing with that. So let's get my screen going here. Share the screen. There we go. And take a look at where we're at here in Canvas. Okay, so I am in the education section, and your education is what I was looking at. And now it may seem kind of strange that I kind of start off with a little education, right, and make you do that course sequence guide, and then we go straight into what kind of career do you want, and how do you want to be successful in your job, and then we come back to education. But there's a reason for that. If I discussed education fully first, then what would end up happening is most people wouldn't really be very interested in it. They know they need to do something with education, but they don't know really where they're going. And so I would be just talking about, you know, you could do this, you could do that. And part of that is what I'm doing now, right? You could do this, you could do that. But hopefully, now that you've gone through examining what do I want to do out there, what areas might interest me, and and I actually have made you focus on a particular job. When again, maybe it would have been better just to say what area do you want to go into. But again, that doesn't focus you on reality of what you could do. And so I wanted to make sure that everyone had the opportunity to really look at the fact that, yeah, you can make a good living at this and you can be successful at it. And where do I really want to end up? Something that's like this. And I can actually point to it and I can actually say, look, there it is. There's the job description. Now, part of that, of course, is realizing that when you go and look at the job description, it may say you need a bachelor's degree to get that. You need a degree in management to get that. Who knows, what it told you. I do by now, but by the time you're watching this video. But currently, I don't know because you haven't turned that paper in yet. So anyway, so here we are in the educational future portion. And so we're going to take a look at a ton of options, and that's really what this video is going to be about. You don't see these lectures. Those are old lectures. I need to delete those. They're just audio from last year. And so we're going to take a look at educational options. Back to Career Coach. Career Coach is a great place electronically at EAC that you can go and take a look at those jobs again and take a look at who offers these types of degrees. So I'm not going to jump into Career Coach now. We're going to take a look at other degrees. We have looked before at EAC's options and the fact that you've basically got a couple of degrees you can go after, that you can either go after one that's very business management related, or you can go after one that is very computer related. And then you can also, which mentioned in the certification portion, go after different certificates while you're here at EA. And I'm actually in development of, so hopefully, by the time you're looking at graduating, this is already going to be accepted. But basically this one I'm changing a little bit, or I'm kind of stacking them so that there'll be actually a 4-semester one and a 2-semester one certificate, and they're just, they're good to put on your resume. So anyway, certificates are something, again, that you can get while you go through your standard degree. And so that's EAC stuff. Always got all these little tools that you guys can't see at the top here in the way. Anyway, so that's EAC's options. And then where are you going from there? Well, if you're sticking in Arizona, it's usually a little cheaper for you. And that's because Arizona schools have agreements with one another. So anything that's a general ed requirement fits under what's known as the AGEC, which is spelled with a G. And it basically stands for Arizona General Education Curriculum. And so they can't go picking it apart, I guess that's what I'm saying. And I have a lot of students that do that. They'll actually take computer classes that interest them, And the only other thing they're trying to do is get a general degree, specifically the AJEC, which is actually a smaller portion of that degree, so that they don't have ASU picking apart their degree. I hate to say it, but the universities control what they want, right? They can always tell to your colleges, nope, not going to do it, which is bad. And they have become much more malleable, much more easy to work with, because they realize that the feds are putting more pressure on them to not be jerks about things. I hate to put it that way, but they do. U of A in the past, you notice here's ASU, there's NAU. I don't have U of A listed. Why? Well, in the past, they've just been jerks and they don't really take hardly anything from EA. So I don't really discuss them. They do have some computer stuff there. They've got a cyber security center. And they've got their computer science degree, which is programming degree. So if you really want to go to U of A, this stuff will still help you, because this is a lot about navigating websites and trying to find what's going on out there. Anyway, if you're staying in Arizona, they usually will take more from you. If you go someplace that's online, like this one is online, they usually will be very forthcoming in what they're going to take, as transfer credits. And you really want to start looking at this stuff and figuring it out before you graduate, right? A lot of people are just like, you know what, I'm in school and I'm going to focus on that, and I'm not going to do the rest of this stuff. But then they're in their last semester, they really start looking, and they're, it's so much to look for, and I don't know what to do. And it's overwhelming. So again, that's part of taking a look at your educational options. You're going to have, obviously, a reflection on some of this information, and then you're going to have actually the second large assignment that you have, which is actually choosing some kind of degree program that you want to go into, and choosing more than one, so that you're kind of looking at what each one does. So let's just get started. Let's take a look at, let's jump down here to NAU's stuff, so that you can take a look, for instance, at this NAU Computing and Technology degree. There are two different, so this is something that definitely should be in your notes. There's two different ways to approach technology in education. So I hate to say it, right, but these institutions have been around for a long time. Even Eastern Arizona College has been. But universities in particular have a certain way that they work. They have certain things that they do. And so I've kind of mentioned this before, but you have computer degrees that come out of the engineering part of things, and that's computer science. And computer science is programming. That's what that is. And then you have computing degrees that come out of the business area. So you have one that comes out of your science and engineering, and one that comes out of your business area. And so the requirements for those two different areas are different. And to tell you the truth, everyone that I have talked to that's out there in the business, they're not so concerned about which direction you took with that, unless it just doesn't help you. For instance, something that's coming out of the business side of things is not going to be heavily done on math, and you're not going to be doing programming a lot. Something that comes out of the engineering side is going to be a lot of math and a lot of programming. So if you want to be a programmer, you need to go into that computer science type degree. ASU is so huge that they have the computer science type degree, and then they have something in the middle, which is like programming and app development. It's not as heavily math oriented, still have to take math, and then the business stuff. So this one in particular here, this is Applied Science Technology Management, Computer Information Technology minor. So this is a BAS, Bachelor's of Science. This one's a BA, a Bachelor's of Arts. They have Educational Technology, and then they have Interdisciplinary Studies, Technology Management. So they actually have quite a few things, and it's like, oh, it's so confusing. Which one do I do? Well, really just boil it down to, what classes am I taking? What is it that I want to learn from this? And how can I play to my strengths? That's important to look at. So again, what classes am I going to be taking in this process? Do those classes play to my strengths? Or are they something that I really need to know and am willing to stretch in an area that I'm usually not very good at, right? And so you're looking at those types of things so that when you get done and you're in an interview and they ask you, well, what did you do in that applied science technology management degree? What was part of that? You can be proud of what you did, and you can talk about the classes that you took and how they affected you. Not that, well, I just kind of picked one, right? When you take that attitude, that's what's going to come out. So anyway, let's take a look at applied sciences. And here it is. It talks about, hey, you can go into all these careers. So they're trying to help you out there. Like, this is what you can do. This shows you the campus availability, which I believe online is one of them right there. So these are places that it's actually offered in physicality, in physical. And then this one is online. So you can take this all online. And so let's take a look at the details. So it talks about what you're going to do. You got to be admitted and all that stuff. And then here you are. You got a communications block, and they actually link to the classes that you can take, right? So it says 3 units. That's 3 credits of what you got to do there. And so you would look at this. Oh, I want to take that class. That sounds health communication. I want to maybe go and work at a hospital IT department, right? So there's lots of little things you can do there. There's public administration, values and ethics, and then here's your science block. So there's biology, and obviously these are 300 level courses. So it's building on biology you've done here if you did, right? So all of this, and then here's your technology management stuff and what you're going to do, teams and project management. See, and as you're looking at this, you should be saying, huh, what about all that computery stuff that we did at EA? I had to learn all those dang parts of the computer. Well, there's a couple of ways to look at this. You can have a very technical first 2 years and then go into something that's a lot more managerial and be able to balance that and use that in an interview and say, actually, when I was at EA, I took classes like this and this. We did this in networking. We did this in ethical hacking. We did these different things, especially if you got a certification in one of those. But when I got done with that, I was like, I really want to pair my technical with personnel skills of dealing with people. And so I decided to take this degree program because that's what it does. Right? So it's not necessarily bad to do that, is what I'm saying. You are the creator of your own path here. Figure out what you would like to do. So here is Bachelor's Arts in Computer Information Technologies. It's not an applied science of technology management. So this one's going to be different. Campus availability, it's personalized learning. So this should be online as well, but you'd want to ask them. This one is one that several students have actually done this program that we're looking at here. All right, so here's details. And here's your course credit learning, 57 units. And of course, some of what you've already had should fit in with what you have to finish doing here. And so here's information technology literacy, business system software development, and any one of these you can just click on. So I'll click on one here in a minute. Let's look at Computer Information Technology 2. This course is designed to introduce you to advanced concepts, principles, and practice applications of computing as they apply to business and organizational structures. This class teaches several common software packages available for business. So that's not too bad. They're probably talking about you're going to use advanced stuff in Microsoft Word. It's probably a lot like our 103. So anyway, I wanted you to see that. That opened up another tab here. It's nice that I made myself big again, but it's not what I needed. Let's go back here. Management information technologies. There's project management. You actually do some field work experience here. Lots of good stuff. administration of technology management. Sounds very similar to this one, but a few more technical classes. And then you could get into their interdisciplinary studies. So let's back up to some educational options. And again, what I'm actually doing here for you is trying to get you to exit full screen. No, what I'm trying to get you to do is realize that you can go and do this. Right? You can do exactly what I'm doing, and that's what you have to do as part of this unit, is go out there and take a look at what's available, even if you're not sure what you're going to do, right? Because the idea is to force you to open up your mind. All right, so that's computing, and this is personalized, and then there's an NAU degree comparison. I want to show you ASU. I will say, if it comes down to the cash, I would say this is a good course of action. While you're here at EA, get Network Plus certified at least, right? I've already said, if you can, get A+ and Network Plus, but at least Network Plus while you're here. Dedicate yourself to doing that. Get your 2-year degree, and this is a very technical degree, right? It's a very, we learned a bunch of stuff of how to deal with databases and how to program and how to set up servers, right? Bunch of technical stuff. And with those 2, right, you can go out and get a job. But if you, in your portion of what do I want to be doing 10, 15 years from now, looked and said, well, there's some managerial portions of this, or they seem to want a bachelor's degree and these certifications for this particular job, so what should I do? The cheaper way, get the certifications while you're at EAC, go to NAU and get one of those computer management type degrees. NAU's cheaper. They're usually pretty easy to work with. So that's the cheaper way. ASU is more expensive, but I wanted to show you, and we'll have to poke around a bit. So we're gonna do a few searches here. Sorry, my thumb must have tapped on that. All right, so here's information technology, and they have a BS degree, Bachelor's of Science. They have one that's online, totally online. They have one that's offered out of their Polytechnic school, which is probably the same here. They have a Master's in Science in Graphic Information Technology. That's GIS systems. There's Graphic Information Technology. There's the Bachelor in Information Technology. There's their Master's, and that's all ASU online. All right, that's just information technology. So let me just dump into one of these. Let's just take a look at the online one. You can go to the Polytechnic school if you want. I got a student that's over there now. Oh, I need to write him a letter. Anyway, here it is. So they give you next start date. They answer some of your basic questions on here. And right here at the bottom, hey, I'd like to see the courses that I'm going to take. Operating system structure, introduction to internet networking. A lot of these will be easy for you if you work hard here at EAC. Introduction to Unix utilities, right? You can show more. And again, you're dumping into any of these. Oh, managing the cloud, what does that mean? Oh, well, never mind, there's no description available. No, you can actually look it up. That's a IFT 320. You can actually type that in a search and pull it up and see what it is. But they're telling you exactly what you can do and what you need to do. It's just fantastic. Now, I'm going to do another search. Information technology pulled all that out. Let's look for programming. Let's take a look at programming here. I'm looking for my screen stuff. Oh, there it is. Moved it to the bottom. I'm going to pause the recording here for a minute. All right, so here I have got pulled up. Here's principles of programming languages. This is obviously not sports science programming. Programming for everyone, introduction to programming, that's a course right there. Right, so that's a master's of computer science. And so really on this particular site, like I said, there's that MIS and there's that computer science, right? So management or business related stuff, which is usually called information technology or computer science. And so you can come out here and look at that information, and let me go ahead and search for another one, which is just computer science. But let's say, for instance, you're interested in web development, something like that, then you would search for that, web development or web. If you were interested in hospital information systems, you would search for hospital information systems, also known as informatics. Again, ASU, Arizona is really weird. Most states have, I mean, even New Mexico has what, 5, 6 universities? And in Arizona, we have 3. And no, I'm not going to count the University of Phoenix online or DeVry. I'm talking about state institutions. We have half of what New Mexico has, and New Mexico has probably half of our population. ASU is massive. They, for some reason, wanted to rule the world and become the biggest thing that you've ever seen. And so that's what they've tried to do. And they offer, you know, probably 15 different degrees in technology. So here again, this is going to be a big one for them. Computer science, that's going to be a huge one. Gaming systems, all sorts of things, right? You're going to do some calculus. And then here's the major map. So in other words, here's the course sequence. Most places call them major maps or course sequences. And so there they are. And this is the different stuff that you're going to take as you go through that program. You can click any of them. You can see calculus, discrete mathematics, right? So if you're good at math, then it's a good idea to say, I'm going to take a look at this because math's not going to be a big issue for me. I'll have to spend time doing it, but it's not going to be huge. There's data structures and algorithms, right? Tons of stuff. So let me do one more. Let me search for something web or security. Almost all places have a security one. I haven't actually checked ASU to see if they have a security degree, but let's search for web design. Just to throw that out there. There's a BAS in Internet and Web Development. There's an online Internet Web Development degree that you can take. Online Web Design degree. Development and design are different. I would definitely go the development route. It's more programming, but you're going to have a better chance of finding a job with that. And then here's the courses. Image manipulation and editing, information design and usability, website design, markup scripting, e-commerce. Right? So it's just trying to give you an example of, hey, go out there and do the search and you can find what you're looking for. You really can. And you can do that with any college and university. So if you're thinking, wow, I really want to go to MIT, well, check out what MIT has. Go there and see what they've got. It's very easy these days to see what it's called and what the courses are that you're going to have to take. So there's not a huge surprise. Now, the other thing is I wanted to introduce you to some online choices, right? These places that are really private universities, but they're all online. And that usually does mean that it's going to cost you a bit more, but considering what ASU costs, I'm not sure that's the case. Free application, don't apply until you're really ready because they'll start spamming you like crazy. Haven't done it. But this, for instance, this place, this Western Governors University, this thing got born from Colorado, Utah, Wyoming, and there's another one, the Western Governors. We're considered Southwest, so we weren't in that. And when all these universities were having to push online, none of them knew how to do it. And so the Western Governors got together and they said, let's create a university and we'll offer these classes from this university and this one from this one. And then we'll bring that together and we'll have different degrees. What became so successful, now it's its own thing. It has become very successful. This stuff is based on certification, not all of it. So I'm not saying that you can't get a degree out there in computer management or whatever you want, but in particular, this place will actually take your certifications. If you got A+ certified and Network Plus certified, that's 2 classes or maybe 3 or 4 classes that you don't have to take at Western Governors because you have that certification. My own brother did this. He went through and got basically this one. I think they've changed the name, but basically this one. And ended up with 4 or 5 certifications throughout the whole process. Right? So they break it down for you. There's your IT fundamentals that you have to take. There's your network and security fundamentals. Right? There's Linux foundations. That's probably going to be the Linux Plus certification. So this is very, very highly technical. And the honest truth is because they're putting certifications, they're wrapping certifications in these, like I try to do for some of my classes. You come out not only with a bachelor's, but several certifications. Now that's highly demanding, but you're going to get paid for that, right? And this is not going to be math intensive, right? You're not going to have a bunch of math stuff. This is what people think of for IT. So while this one definitely is going to be more expensive than NAU, in the long run, it might actually take you a shorter amount of time, depending on what they'll take as transfer credits. And the only negative, again, is that once you apply, they're going to start really talking to you about it. They don't want to let you go. That's the only negative. And so if that interests you, you can start talking to them about it now and get an idea of what you're going to have to do. And I recommend that for all of them. If you see something on ASU and you're like, hey, I really like that degree, then you need to start talking to them now. And usually they're going to be like, oh, just come over here, right? Because that's how they make money. So that's what they're going to do. But usually if you tell them, no, this is what I'm going to do, I'll be done here, this is what I'm going to do next, and they're like, okay, sweet, this is what we can do for you. So take a look at different places. You don't have to just choose these. These are the examples that I've given you so that you can move forward and you can find other places, and you can take a look at U of A, you can take a look at Colorado State, LSU, wherever you want to go, and tons of online ones, and you can ask questions. And really, honestly, if you really want me to look at a program and tell you what I think, then just let me know. Just say, hey, McBride, what do you think of this? And I'll look at it and let you know. But this really preps you for, let me show you down once this loads. Here we are, finally. Your education and your education reflection. So just real quickly, use Career Coach, and that's where you're starting. So use Career Coach and then look at what degrees you're interested in Career Coach. And then the next one, which is a bigger one, write 3-page report discussing your traditional and online education options. And then you have to answer these questions. Again, I give you some resources so that can help you. But hopefully you'll kind of go out on your own, right? And say, oh, I want to check out this place and see what your options are. And then, of course, part of that is going to be looking at how much it costs. How much will that cost? How long will it take? Those are important questions to ask because, again, it may cost you more per semester, but it'll take you less time to actually get it done. And so it balances it out. Are you going to work full time? So I'm actually making you dig in as far as I did. Describe the types of classes that you have to take. And this is all to force you to go out there and really understand how to evaluate a degree that's out there someplace so that you can plan ahead. And this really kind of finalizes this whole section of the whole first part of the course of basically saying, this is what I have to do to be successful in education. This is the types of careers that are available. This is how I need to be successful, or what I need to do to be successful in that career job. And then this is the education that I need to go out and get to have that career that I'm looking for. All right, well, that's the end of this one, at least.